One of the quality of life changes that came in back at Dragonflight was the little repair guy and the upgrade vendor back in the raid. You guys remember that? Well, players loved it, so of course Blizzard took it out of the game. Well, it seems to be coming back in 11.1. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Some of the big class changes that are coming. There are quite a few. Blizzard dropped a blue post about that. We'll get into some of those class changes. And maybe a cool add-on that you could use to play some classic WoW, too. We'll get into all of that stuff, but first off, oh, what's going on here? You watching some YouTube content, some other thing? No, you're watching an ad for the greatest giveaway in the history of Twitch. That's right, my giveaway is 2 mounts off the BNet store. How do you enter? Watch 1 hour of this shitty stream and get 1 point to enter to the giveaway. Every hour beyond that, you can generate more entries for yourself. I'm here, 5 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, streaming like a degenerate. I'm a man of the people, and I want to give back to the people. Get in the stream and get your point. Services and amenities included. That's right. Your upgrade vendor and a few other vendors are returning to the game. We haven't had upgrade vendors or repair vendors inside of the raids for the War Within yet. I don't know why Blizzard decided to take those away, but they did. Well, they're returning, not in full, in their full glory that they were in Dragonflight, but in a way. So you have the new Renown system, and once you advance to a certain point in the Renown system, you will unlock certain amenities right outside the raid. These amenities include a transmognifier, an item upgrade NPC, a cauldron vendors, a consumable and power-up vendors, auctioneer, and much, much more sitting right outside the raid. So they're not directly in the raid, but they'll be sitting in this room in the Continental Hotel, where we'll be able to use them and upgrade and do all kinds of things, including repairing, which is nice. It's a nice quality of life change compared to what we had in the last raid, Narubar Palace, which was absolutely nothing. So we'll take what we can get, I guess, from Blizzard. The new splash screen is available. Here it is, 11.1's splash screen. That's right, the screen that you will see when you log in the day 11.1 goes live, and we got the big features here. Drive. Experience the new way to travel and undermine with the customizable G99 Breakneck. We also have, right here where my face is blocking, customize your campsite. Create new camps in the character select screen and pick from a set of unlockable backgrounds. We saw this. Multiple campsites you can make now instead of just one. Pick your favorite tunes and group them together however you wish. And then last but not least here, Undermine. Continue the pursuit of Zalateth and confront Gallywix's forces in the sprawling city streets of Undermine. Excited for when this goes live. Can't wait. This is, by the way, courtesy of Mr. GM on Twitter. And then Plunderstorm. The Creator Royale event returns on January 25th. If you don't know what this is, it's at a 60-man tournament, essentially, of creators all getting together and fighting it out in a tournament. I believe the prize is a $50,000 prize pool here to be won. Last time it ended with some interesting stuff. Zaryu and Peekaboo were on the same team. They got eliminated at the very end. As you know, I've been called many times the Dollar Store Zaryu. I got invited to this tournament. I was supposed to be right here. You see this TBA, Barney64. I declined it. I'm a man of the people at the end of the day, and I want to be of the people, right? So for me to go win $50,000 in a tournament, it just makes me less relatable. And I don't want to be that guy. I want to remain a man of the people. That's my promise to you. No matter how big the stream gets, the YouTube channel gets, I will always be a man of the people. That's right. No, I'm not a liar, Conicia. How dare you? Anyways, we'll see who Barney's teammate is going to be. Unfortunately, it will not be Samiccus for him. The tournament will go live. When is this? The 27th, we said? Yeah, January 25th. You can tune in and watch this thing. It's pretty fun, pretty cool. They get points for eliminating other people. They get points for winning the rounds. So, should be an interesting one. I enjoyed watching it last time, and I'll watch it again this time. And our good friend, Mr. GM, will be in the tournament as well. So, should be fun. Speaking of Mr. GM, we're back on his Twitter here because Plunderstorm can be played with a controller. That's right. All you have to do is type /console space gamepad enable 1, and you will get this UI right here, which will enable you to use a controller. All of the controls are already set. I'm sure you can get into the menu and change them up if you don't like the way they look here. But hey, WoW coming to console? Confirmed. That's it. We got a /controller console command now. So yeah, if you want to play with a controller, and by the way, Plunderstorm is very playable with a controller. You got, what is this, 6-7 abilities here, so it's actually perfectly made for a controller. So if you want to play it this way with this UI, go ahead and type that command. Again, it is /console space gamepad enable 1 will give you this UI. Okay, the big drop here. Class changes. Yeah, maybe next year, Sam. The big drop here is class changes. We got a ton of class notes here. We'll go through them real quick and talk about some of the buffs and nerfs. For Frost Death Knight, just some changes to tier set bonuses. I believe there were a couple buffs here per stack 50 effectiveness, so they changed it up. Additionally, Frost Loyalty is 50%. So you could read through this real quick. Just changes to the 2-set and 4-set bonuses for Frost DKs. Other than that, not much going on with Death Knight. Druid's getting a bunch of reworking here. Moonkin form has been added to the class talent tree for Sunfire at Sunfire's previous position. Sunfire moved on the talent tree for them to improve Sunfire's position. That's great for them. Fluid form causes Wrath and Starfire to transform you into Moonkin form at the end of their cast instead of their at their starts. So that changes how you play in that form. I don't play much Druid. Move on to Balance here. Balance Druids now learn Moonkin form in the class tree when they reach level 10. So a bunch of talent tree changes here, it looks like, for Druid. Light of the Sun has been moved to the class talent tree Balance Druids. And then Feral, the new talent Thrash on the talent tree has been moved again, so a bunch of stuff here. Undermine 4-set bonus looks like it got buffed. It gives you a periodic effect of plus 16 to increase your stats. Was 8% when it comes to Apex Predator. And Big Winner deals direct damage equal to 800% of your attack power. Was 250, so a nice buff there for Feral Druids. Feral Druids have been getting some love lately from Blizzard, so that's good to see. Guardian Druid now learns Verdant Heart in the class talent tree at level 10, and then Raise has been updated. Strike with the Might of Ursoc, dealing physical damage to your target and to all other enemies in front of you, damage reduced beyond multiple targets. Developer saying this changes causes Raise to always deal increased damage to the primary target, even if the target exits. So good thing, restoration there, a change in talents as well. So a bunch of talent reworks here. Druids should check out their talent trees once 11.1 goes live, because it looks like things are going to change for them. Evoker, here we go. Hero talents, Flame Shaper. Enkindle reverted back to 20% of Essence ability. That's good, I guess. Engulf, cooldown reduction to 27%. 27 seconds was 30 seconds. That's a nice little buff. Consume. Flame now consumes 2 seconds of Fire Breath, and Dream Breath was 4 seconds, so some buffs there as well. Consume Flame damage is now 750%, and the amount consumed was 375, and healing is now 300%, was 150. So a nice big buff to Consume Flame there. You guys will be using that a lot more. Expanded Lungs increases damage or healing time of Fire Breath and Dream Breath by 30%, was 25%. So it looks like Flame Shaper there got a nice little buff. And then Augmentation Evoker, the one that got nerfed into the ground just a little bit ago, maybe getting buffed again. Let's see. Developer notes the following change is intended to reduce the defensive power of Augmentation in dungeons. Oh no, they're getting nerfed again. Is anyone still playing Augmentation? Because Blizzard doesn't want you to anymore. Augmentation has consistently been overperforming in pushing high keys, so we're making Ebb and Might only apply to damage dealers. At the same time, we're increasing Ebb and Might's effectiveness so that Augmentation's damage throughput is increased to make up for the lost utility in buffing tanks and healers, which sucks for tanks and healers again. We're already behind the 8 ball in terms of how we've been nerfed into the ground. Make tanks great again, Blizzard. And now we can't, all this stuff has been only hurting us even more. Evidently, Augmentation is really good at high-end keys, and Blizzard continues to make changes in the game based on the top 1%ers. I'll never understand it, but yeah, it is what it is. Ebb and Might no longer applies to tanks and healers. Great, wonderful, as if we weren't hurting enough. And then Close Clutch Mates has been re-added. Ebb and Might and Breath of Eons are now 25% more effective outside of the raid. So not a buff for raid, just outside of the raid. Is there proof Sam can read? Maybe. For Hunter, let's see what's going on here. Panthera Cats no longer requires fresh Talbook meat to tame. Okay, that's fine. Hero Towns, Dark Ranger. Shadowhounds has been updated. Darkhounds now deals damage to nearby enemies when they attack for marksmanship, and Beast Mastery Hunters was only Beast Mastery Hunters, so that's good for marksmanship. Withered Fire stacks will no longer reset after dungeon boss combat. Fixed an issue causing Black Arrow to deal more damage than intended for marksmanship hunters and PvE only, and then fixed an issue that causes Dark Hounds to trigger less often than intended. So a couple raid bugs here that are getting fixed for Dark Ranger, and then Shadowhounds now applying to marksmanship. Pack Leader. Hogstrider can now be consumed by procs such as Snakeskin Quiver. Rend Flesh now benefits from unnatural causes. Rend Flesh can now crit, so there's some buffs to Rend Flesh. Ursine's Fury now appropriately grants its cooldown reduction to Flanking Strike and Butchery. Fixed an issue that causes Werven's damage buff aura to be incorrectly tied to the duration of the visual effect and thus appear to fall off at random durations. And then the summoning order of Pack Leader Beasts is no longer random. Beast summons will no longer repeat. So that's interesting. It'll be Werven, Boar, and then Bear, so there's a specific order now to that. Hunters, all in all, marksmanship's been getting a ton of buffs. It looks like it's going to be really, really good, especially Dark Ranger going into 11.1. And then Beast Mastery here. Solitary Companion's aura will now be removed, okay, and then Lead from the front now increases your damage of your pets by 15%. As I said, marksmanship's been getting buffed. Here are some of them. Feathered Frenzy has been updated. Now increases the chance of Spotter's Mark by 100%, was 50. That's a nice buff. Eagle's Accuracy has been updated. Now increases rapid fire and aim shot damage by 2.5 to 5%. And then Unerring Vision has been updated. Now increases True Shot Crit Strike by 20%, was 10. And additionally increases the cooldown reduction effect of Calling the Shots by 1 second. Unearning Vision is now a choice node with double tap, so some buffs there to Unearning Vision. Double tap has been updated. What is this? Aim shot and rapid fire effectiveness reduced to 80%, was 100, so that's a little bit of a reversion there. Developer notes on these changes here. Unearning Vision being a choice node with double tap means we're comfortable increasing access to double tap by letting it proc for volley. Our goal is to make Unearning Vision be a sustained damage choice with double tap, if more appealing in burst, making it more appealing for bursts and AoE scenarios. That's great for them. A few little changes here, quality of life stuff, fix an issue, this and that. Good things for marksmanship coming for sure. And then survival, let's see here. Spearhead has been updated. Now also benefits your pets. Deadly Duo now also benefits your pets. Born to Kill now correctly increases the duration of Call the Herd. Flanking Strike now correctly applies to Merciless Blow effects. So a few issues here that got fixed up, it looks like. And then Spearhead and Deadly Duo now applying to your pets. So a couple buffs there. Pack Leader, Lead from the front, and we read this, now increases the damage of your pets by 30%. Very nice. Okay, Mage. We've seen some changes. Just making fun of Sam and his monk cut always makes me feel better. I'm glad. I'm here to serve at the end of the day. I'm a man of the people. If you press Shift 5 times in a row, you'll enable sticky keys. Yeah, that's another little tip there. Okay, Mage. Time Anomaly. Procs now ignore mana costs. Okay. Arcane, new talent. Oh, are they getting a new talent? Ether Fragment. Ether Vision's damage bonus is increased by to 15% choice node with Lay Sight. Arcane damage increased by 10%. Nether Precision no longer benefits arcane damage. So arcane damage benefiting from Nether Precision has proven to convolute your rotational decisions for Arcane Barrage. Okay, so it looks like Arcane actually got a couple buffs here. Spellslinger Sorcery now generates a Splinter when consumed by Nether Precision or fully stacked Ether Visions. I don't even know what that is, but sounds like a little bit of a change up there in how Spellslinger works. And then Sun Fury here. Glorious Incandescent changes reverted. Okay, so there were a bunch of Sun Fury changes a little while ago. Looks like that all got changed back. Let's see what happened with fire here. Frostfire. Excess frost cooldown reduction reduced to 5 seconds. Was 10, so that's nice. And then Sun Fury fixed an issue causing Ignite the future to not increase mana cascade stacks. All right, not bad. Frost. Winterhead has been updated, or is that Wintertide? I don't know where I got Winterhead. Damage from Frostbolt and Flurry increase the damage of your icicles and glacial spikes by 4%, stacking up to 4 times. I don't know what this was before. Now that Fingers of Frost doesn't consume Winter's Chill, Wintertide had the potential to create some unintuitive rotational priorities. So they're trying to make the rotation more intuitive. That's fine. Winter's Chill duration increased to 8 seconds, was 6. That's good. Fingers of Frost Orb chance to trigger reduced to 5%, was 10. That's bad. And then Blizzard damage reduced by 40%. Damn, that shit got hit hard. Wow, so that's a big reduction for Blizzard there. Comet Storm, Glacial Assault, Wintertide, and Lonely Winter have had their positions changed in the talent tree. So just like Druid getting a bunch of changes to your talent trees there. And then Excess Frost cooldown for Frostfire reduction to 5% was 10. Monk. Let's see what Monk... I don't know. Has Monk been... Are people still playing Monk? I feel like Monk, nobody freaking plays it anymore. I see a couple people here and there, but it's got to be one of the least played classes in the game. It's had its ups and downs. Right now, as far as tanks go, it's all right. Mistweaver, I feel like, is always pretty damn good. How many 7-year-olds are going to kill... are you going to kill in Plunderstorm today, Anarchus? You know. Whichever one's getting my way, basically. Sam hit control, and then the plus symbol to make the screen bigger so you can read. I am reading. What are you talking about? Let's read some Jade Monk stuff here. Mistweaver. Jade Bond has been redesigned. Chi cocoons now apply enveloping mist for 4 seconds when they expire or are consumed. And Chi G's guess of mists healing is increased by 40%, was 20. That's a big buff. And then Yulan's soothing breath healing increased by 500%. What the hell? That's a huge buff. A developer notes on this, these changes to Jade Bond are intended to refocus Chi G into a powerful cooldown that encourages more intentional use. Alright, well that certainly will. A 500% buff. Damn, so Mistweaver get a nice buff there. Cooldowns for Chi G look like they've been reduced to 2 minutes, was 3. Chi cocoons absorb
Sam, if
amount.
you get stuck on a word, just sound it out.
Now, thank you, Malden. I'll try to remember that. I remember I was taught that. When was it? First grade or kindergarten. I'll try to rehash that knowledge. What was I saying here? Yeah, reduction here. Chi cocoons absorb amount now scales with the cooldown of your Celestials, now 100% effective when not using Gift of Celestials. Jade Empowerment now increases Crackling Jade by 3,000%, was 2,000%. So that's a nice buff here. And then Cleave's effectiveness was 10, now at 10%, was 25. And then Lotus Infusion increases healing taken by 10%, was 8. So these are buffs across the board. Yulan's Whisper healing increased by 30%. So Mistweaver got some nice buffs here. This is a pretty damn good buffs, and they want you to use that Chi G's a lot more, I guess. So nice for Mistweavers. I guess we'll see them continue to be pretty damn good. Conduit of Celestials. Conduit of Celestials damage increased by 225%. So far, monks are looking pretty damn good out of this patch. A bunch of buffs here. Let's see, Windwalker. Undermine 4-set bonus has been updated. The buff increased to 8% per sec, was 5, so that's a buff there. Slicing Winds damage increased by 33%. And 1 Empower Moves You has been decreased by 50%, so there's some rebalancing there. Zoo's Bond changes here, now reduces the cooldown of Evoke Zen. And then Last Emperor's Catapicker, Catawutta, Capacitor now increases a damage of the Crackling Jade by 400%, was 200%. So buffs there. Power of the Thundering King now cleaves Crackling Jade. Lightning at 80% effectiveness, was 100. So a little bit of a, there's some rebalancing here. It looks like overall, I could say Windwalker looks like it's getting a little bit of rebalancing. Buffs and nerfs to different spots here. Conduit of Celestials, some changes here as well. Let's move on to Paladin. Paladin, #1 tank in the game right now. We know part of the meta is literally only people tanking on Paladin. It is what it is. Capacitor. Okay, yeah, capacitor. Oh, is that what it is? Oh, I don't know why I couldn't read that. Anyways, I bought Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Oh, great. Isn't WoW, that isn't WoW either, but oh well. Yeah, it happens, people try to play other games. You can't. Paladin, Hero Talents, Lightsmith, Tempered in Battle. Sacred Weapons Health Redistribution may only occur once per cast, okay? And then Holy, tons of changes here. What is that? Oh, buffs across the board. Look at this. Commanding Light now increases your healing transfer of Beacon and Light by 5%, was 10, so that's a little bit less. Truth Prevails, healing decreased by 20%. Oh no. Are we seeing nerfs here? Greater Judgment Absorb reduced by 25%. Okay. Now here it is. Holy Prism increased by 20%. Holy Shock damage increased by 100%. Holy Shock Healing increased by 40%. Light of the Dawn increased by 15%. Holy Light Healing increased by 20% and now costs 7% base mana, was 6.4. So a little bit more mana there. Divine Favor now increases healing done in Holy Light by up to 20%, was 40. So some rebalancing here, a few buffs, a few nerfs. I'm not sure how all this will pan out. What are the developer notes here? These changes are targeted at redistributing some of Holy Paladin's healing breakdown into a few active healing spells that are not having enough direct impact. So they're trying to rebalance how Holy is played. Okay. Retribution. Templar. Hammer of the Light now benefits Undisputed Ruling Judgment. Hammer of the Light now benefits stacks. It's now from the stacks. It adds to Crusade. So there's some benefits to the stacks that are building up there. So that's nice. And
Hi,
that's
my
it.
name is Sam, and when I go to edit this for YouTube,
Oh, there will
just
be no
would like
edits.
to remind you that
There will
I
be
am
no
a little
edits.
Canadian rat.
Okay.
And you should buy
Oh,
my
Jesus.
seeds.
Yeah,
They
oh
are
yeah.
20%
They're
off
10%
equals
off.
3, just like Holy Light's healing increase.
Yeah.
Smile less than 3.
Yeah, all right, great. Yeah, Canadian rat. The thing is, smacking sunflower seeds, you can use code Samiccus at checkout and get yourself 10% off. You wouldn't want to falsely advertise. Paladin looks like it's just getting some rebalancing here. Okay, we got Priest, Rogue, Shaman, all coming up real quick here. Disciplined Priest, Aegis of Wrath has been renamed to Ethereal Barrier. It has been updated, no longer decays over time, and instead increases the duration of Power Ward. So that's a nice buff there for them. Its absorption, though, is now only 20%, was 30%. No longer reduction in PvP. Not bad for priests. Rogue, Hero Talent, Trickster. Coup de Grace now requires its target to be in melee range, so no longer has a dash component when active outside of regular melee. Okay, however that affects them. Shamans. The initial shield of Stone Bulwark Totem is no longer dispellable, and the repeating shields will continue to be dispellable. Okay, so the first one's not, but the repeatable ones are. Let's see what happened with Shamans, because they've been one of the top classes in the game. All of this expansion so far. Let's see if that continues here. For Shaman, Elemental, Ascendance now requires a target to cast. Oh, you didn't need one before. Flame Shock and Lava Burst, from casting it, will always hit the primary target. Lightning Rod's visual has been updated. We saw that. It's a little bit more blue and lightning-y, I guess. Enhancement. Lava Lash damage reduced by 20%. Oh, no. Doom Wind's damage now scales with Mastery. Volatic Blaze now scales with Mastery as well. Lightning Rod's visual updated, we said that. An issue causing Maelstrom weapon spenders to remove a stack of Winding Streak has been resolved. So a few issue fixes there, and a couple changes to how Doom Winds and Voltaic Blaze works, I guess. Stormbringer. Conductive Energy now causes Primordial Wave to apply Lightning Rods to its targets. That sounds like a buff. When Conductive Energy is talented, Chain Lightning will apply Lightning Rod to one of the secondary targets if the main target is already affected by Lightning Rod. That's pretty good. That sounds like a good buff. If all secondary targets are already affected, the duration of Lightning Rod of the main target will be refreshed. Nice. So it sounds like you're going to be wanting to use Chain Lightning with Lightning Rod even more. Totemic damage. Let's see. Tremor damage reduced by 25%. Oh, they're getting nerfed. Searing Volley damage reduced by 20%. Oh, no. Okay, so nerfs here for Totemic. That's sad to see. Restoration. All healing increased by 5%. Resto Shaman's probably, one of the lesser of the Shamans, but right now, all Shaman specs are viable, honestly. Acid Rain damage increased by 25%. So there you go. Restoration getting some nice buffs. And fixing an issue here. It's the last part. So Shaman, overall, they're not getting any kind of nerf hammer. They're probably going to remain as one of the best classes to play right now in the War Within. Warrior, here, the final one. Protection Warrior. All ability damage increased by 5%. Shield Slam damage increased by 20%. Brace for Impact stacks up to 3 times, was 5, and grants a 10% shield of damage to Block Valley by 5%. Was a 5% Shield Slam damage and 3% block. So that's a buff. That's a buff, even though the stacking was less. Looks like it does more. Punish reduces damage the punished target deals to you by 4% was 2, so that's another buff. So far, I mean, Protection Warrior is getting some nice buffs here. Blood Surge has had its chance to trigger increase significantly to generate 5 rage was 3, nice. And then Insight causes Devastator to generate 2 rage was 1. So some buffs across the board, trying to make Prot Warrior more viable. Everything right now is playing catch-up in terms of tanking with Prot Paladin. Let's be honest. So any buffs to any other tanking class is nice. Colossus, Practice Strikes increase rage generated by Shield Slam by 3, and then Mountain Thane, Avatar of the Storm, has a chance to grant 6 stacks of Avatar. 6 seconds of Avatar was 4. So nice buffs there. All in all, these class changes, I'm sure, will continue to change. These are hitting the PTR now, so we'll see all of this balances out. I didn't see anyone get too much of a nerf or buff. Prot Warrior looked pretty damn buff there at the end, and so did Mistweaver Monk. Overall, Evoker still getting nerfed a little bit here and there in terms of what they can do with tanks and healers. They can't do anything anymore, and what they do in Raid. So Augmentation, Blizzard just doesn't like them right now. But moving on to something less serious than class changes, a new way to play WoW. That's right, I threw this in Discord not too long ago, and it was freaking great. Sam, what about Demon Hunter? Not much going on with Demon Hunter from what I've seen. Those were the patch notes. I didn't see a lot going on with Demon Hunter. I'm sure changes are coming, and more patch notes will come out. When Demon Hunter hits, we'll talk about that. But right now, Prot Warrior was the final one there in terms of what's going on. Also known as Riding the Clock. What? I'm impressed he actually can read it all, you know? I do what I do. I'm a man of the people, and I serve the people. Okay, World of Rizcraft. This is an Ascensions add-on that brings WoW into the modern day, making WoW more playable for today's generation. Let's see what this add-on does for the game.
Greetings, my little pod champ. I hope you're locked in, Giga Chad, because there are gats to be raised here in Northshire. And I don't mean that beta or
Gats.
The Stormwind Gooners are low-key cringe-pilled, keeping the vibes based here, with some later beta male.
That's it, later beta male. Who the fuck's he called beta male? This is great. I actually just watched the first couple seconds of this, and I was like, I gotta react to this.
You look like a quirked up white boy goated
Skibbity
with the sauce.
citizen.
We Gooners are running out of ore out here. Based. Another skibbity. We're peeping a lot of you, deadass. I hope your chat is pog-champing you. The Gooner lands are mogged from the ops.
It's my chat pog-champing.
Are edging abroad. This leaves Northshire open to betas and Huzless groups to phantom tax our battle pass. It's a many-rizzed. Your first battle pass.
You know what?
Aura
I actually feel disgusting for understanding a lot of this. This is freaking too. Yeah, we're not pog-champing, that's for sure.
Sigma. Some sussy kobolds have gridden
Sussy
into the mines
kobolds.
to the north. Go there and mog the kobold beta simps you find. Phantom tax their numbers so that we may one day return to lobby.
Return to lobby.
With honor, friend.
A goon with honor, friend? I don't want to understand. No, you don't. You don't. Once you understand this shit, your brain is turning to mush.
Citizen. Those kobolds are Huzless and soy boys, but in lobby they pose a threat to Baby Gronk. And the spectators
Baby
of Skibidi Wind do not need another doxer. For grittying on them, it's been goaded for real. The Alpha Alliance.
For the Alpha Alliance, yeah. Why they took the time to make this add-on, I have no idea. But hey, maybe we could get some of those new generation players in the game finally, now that the game is actually speaking their language. Well, absolutely wonderful. That is all in terms of news.